This is a full tour of all of the plants that we have available as of May 29th, 2026 at the Heirloom Farmer. We grow all of our plants from seed ourselves, and we use organic and natural practices. We grow them just like we grow the plants for our own garden with lots of love and care and attention. And we carefully select the varieties that will do well in our weather, and vegetables that taste really, really good, flowers that are going to thrive. We love all of the varieties that we have, and we can't wait for you to come and shop. There are two ways to shop. The first is our plant sale, which is tomorrow, May 30th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will be here. We will have a kids workshop at 10 a.m. We will be here to help you choose plants, answer any questions that you have, and we're just looking forward to visiting with you as well. But you can also shop self-serve hours, which are every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. All of the plants are labeled and priced, so just go through and do your shopping, and then when you're ready to check out, head into our farm store. There's more things to check out inside. There are also boxes that you can put your plants in. And when you're ready to check out, this is our self-checkout. There are directions on the wall. If you have questions while you're here, check those out or give us a call if we're not here. But to pay with cash, just put cash in the cash box. You can use the QR code to pay with Venmo, or you can use the iPad to pay with a credit card. Just type in the total amount of your purchases and hit charge, and it will walk you through paying. You can insert or tap, and you can use your phone for tap to pay. But again, all of the information about checkout is on the wall, but it is super easy to use the self-checkouts. Now, we would love to visit with you, so we do hope that you will come when we are here tomorrow, but you can also come for self-serve shopping. Look at this gorgeous petunia. Now, on to all of the plant details. Actually, let's start right here. We have got lots and lots of tomatoes, and I have started planting tomatoes in my garden. For tomatoes, we have Brandywine, which is a potato leaf tomato. So you'll see its leaves look slightly different than other varieties. That's totally normal. This is a really delicious beefsteak slicer. It's pinkish red, really good flavor, a classic, well-known heirloom. And I just want to say, not all tomatoes are created equal. So if you maybe don't think you like tomatoes, or you've had some tomatoes in the past that just you're like disappointed in the flavor, well, just remember, not all tomatoes are created equal, and we choose our varieties for flavor and for thriving in our weather. So all of these tomatoes are packed with flavor. There are also variations in the flavor of tomatoes. Some are more tart and acidic. Some can be described as just that old-fashioned tomato flavor, and then there are others that are much sweeter. So definitely try out a few varieties that are new to you and see which ones you like. This is a large red cherry tomato. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a large, it's about the size of a golf ball. A very prolific, great tomato flavor. Bread and Salt is an oxheart type. It's really meaty, very few seeds. I love these on tomato sandwiches, just to slice up and eat with a little bit of salt. They are really delicious, and often the tomatoes look heart-shaped, which is super cute. Also, we've got Cherokee Purple. Now we only have 4 left, so if you want Cherokee Purple tomatoes, you should hurry up and get here before these are gone. They are a really delicious deep purple pink tomato with a kind of a unique smoky flavoring. They're a large beef steak, great for slicing. They're just a beautiful and unique tomato, but we are almost out, so stop by and get those while they're still available. Homestead tomato is your classic looking red slicer, great tomato flavor, but it is also very resistant to cracking, wilt, blight, and it will set fruit in a whole range of weather conditions. So this one, it's just really reliable, a great producer of medium red slicers. Sunrise Bumblebee, as you can see, it is my favorite cherry tomato. They are small yellow tomatoes with a pink blush, and they're a little on the sweeter side, a little bit lower acid. I love snacking on them, and they're absolutely beautiful. So give those a try for a cherry tomato, and they will produce prolifically all the way through to a frost. All right, another one that we are almost out of is this Orange Hat Dwarf Tomato, and this is about as big as it will get, and you can see it already has some tomatoes on it. It will get slightly larger, and it will continue to produce a surprising amount of orange tomatoes for the size of the plant. I would pot it up into a slightly bigger plant for this season, and make sure you feed it a little bit with worm castings or organic compost, and it will continue to produce well for you all season. Again, a surprising amount of tomatoes from that size of a plant. Tiny Tim is also a dwarf tomato. Now it's going to get a little bit larger. It grows 14 to 16 inches on average, sometimes up to 2 feet. But it's a pretty compact plant with tiny cherry tomatoes on it. Or, well, I guess I shouldn't say tiny. I mean, they're just small cherry red tomatoes, you can see there. We have only 2 left in the 4-inch pots, but there are some that I have already potted up, and they are already getting tomatoes on, and you can grow them in these pots all season long, and they will thrive in that container. So we only have a few left, but there are some in the larger containers. So if you don't want to trellis your tomatoes, or you don't want a ton of tomatoes, those 2 dwarf varieties are a great option. Now, on that note, if you do not want to trellis tomatoes, or if you don't have a lot of growing space, I do have 2 more options. We have Cherry Falls tomatoes in hanging baskets. They've already got tomatoes on them. Some of them have sweet alyssum planted with them, and some of them have these marigolds planted with them. And some have these strawberry blonde marigolds in them. And you can grow them in the hanging baskets all season. Now, with any container varieties, I do recommend that you give them some worm castings or compost or another natural food to help them continue thriving all season long. But they will produce an abundance. You can see all those blooms. An abundance of red cherry tomatoes. I also have Geranium Kiss tomatoes, which have this super cool foliage, and they get a golf ball sized red cherry tomato on them, and they are a fairly compact plant. They may get up to 2 feet, but they will do really well in containers. So again, if you are looking for a container variety, or if you want to plant them in your garden and you just don't want to deal with a whole bunch of trellising, these are some great options for you. And you will still get an abundance of tomatoes, and you're going to get an early harvest of tomatoes because a lot of these already have tomatoes on them. All right, so back over here to the rest of the tomatoes. There's some more large red cherry tomatoes, and then we've got Matt's wild cherry tomato, which is a really delicious red cherry. These plants grow huge, so you definitely want space and a trellis for them. We harvested so many of these tomatoes last year, really enjoyed them, and they produced abundantly all the way up until our fall frost. Also, black strawberry. We only have a few of those left, so again, get these soon. These are one of my favorite. They're about a golf ball size. Always one of the earliest to produce in my garden every year. They're really prolific, and they have beautiful marbled pink, purple, and green colored tomatoes. Absolutely gorgeous. I shared a video of these on our social media, so look back for that to see what they look like when they are mature. Really, really good tomato. A little bit on the sweeter side when it comes to tomatoes. We really like them. They are beautiful, diced up in salads, and just for snacking. Really, really excellent tomato with unique colors. This cherry Roma, it's like a Roma but miniature. They're only about 1 inch long. They are plum shaped, and they are amazing for sun-dried tomatoes. Because they're a paste type, they are a little bit on the drier side of when it comes to tomatoes, but for sun-dried tomatoes or for using them in things like focaccia bread, you actually want a slightly drier tomato. So these are an excellent choice, and you can easily sun-dry them by slicing them in half, adding a little bit of salt, and then roasting them in your oven at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for like 5 to 8 hours. And then store them in some olive oil with garlic. Really, really excellent. Some more Sunrise Bumblebee tomatoes. And then we've got your paste tomatoes. So San Marzano and Amish paste are going to be really excellent options for making tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, all of the, tomato preserving. They have fewer seeds, more of a drier flesh, so they won't take as long to cook down into a sauce. The San Marzano are actually going to be slightly larger than Aroma, and both of these would be comparable to Aroma, but I think they have better flavor. We do have one other paste tomato that's kind of unique. Is this pink fang tomato. They are about 6 inches long, and they're pinker, but they're very meaty with very few seeds. So that would be another option for kind of a unique paste tomato. All right, now I'll try not to make you dizzy, but we're gonna go back over here to Hillbilly tomatoes. This is a beautiful yellow slicer with a slightly pink blush, and they're known for their lower acidity. So if you have trouble eating a lot of tomatoes due to the acidity, you may want to give this one a try. Some people find it easier on their digestive system, but it is also really, really delicious. I love these on tomato sandwiches, and the yellow color is just so beautiful. All right, we're gonna interrupt the tomato for a moment to talk about basil. We've got several varieties of basil. Lettuce leaf, I love. It's super cool. There's these giant leaves. They will actually get as large as my hand. They're great for wraps, adding to sandwiches, salads, and making pesto. And they have a slightly milder basil flavor. Spice Boys basil is this bushy, smaller leafed basil with a classic basil flavor. Excellent for containers because they are compact but very prolific. The more you harvest, the more they will produce. So as with all basil, you want to harvest really often. When you harvest basil, you want to actually come in and cut the stem right about here, right above a set of leaves, and then this and this will each grow into a new branch, and your plant will become much, much bushier. So you can see I've pinched this one to encourage more growth, and both of those will continue to grow like that. So that's the best way to harvest basil. And this is your traditional Genovese basil. Excellent flavor. It is your classic basil. We've also got holy basil, only a little bit of that left. Bouquet basil mixes, so these 4-packs mixes of basil, and then 3 little lemon basil left. They smell amazing. Oh my gosh, I love lemon basil just because it smells so good. So give all of that basil a try, and it will all thrive in containers. You can plant it directly in your garden as well. Just avoid the leaves being excessively wet. Basil does not like really wet leaves. Planting it in containers in our area can be excellent, because if we get a couple days of rain, you can protect it from the rain. But I do still grow it in my garden every year, and it still thrives. Just know that if you've had trouble with basil leaves turning brown or black in the past, it could be that the leaves have just been too wet. All right, we've got Nepal, which is another really classic red slicing tomato, really excellent flavor. And it is also resistant to cracking, thrives well in cooler weather, and it ripens really well off the vine. So if you have trouble with critters eating your tomatoes, like, you know, when they get ripe, try this one. Harvest them a little bit early, like just when they start to turn red, and they will ripen really well off the vine. Brandywine, again, classic. We've also got some other unique varieties here. Primary colors: Brad's Atomic Grape, Orange Icicle, Aunt Ruby's German Green. There's the Pink Fang, and Pego My Heart, which is, I'm super excited about this one. I can't wait. It is definitely the old-fashioned flavored tomato, large 1 to 2 pound beef steaks, really, really flavorful. PBS actually just did a documentary on the lady who saved these seeds and kind of made them famous. Her name is Peg, hence the name. So check out that documentary, super cool. I really enjoyed watching that. All right, so let's move on. We've got so many plants. We've got this lavender, sage, quaking grass, millet, feathertop grass, and bunny tails. They are all excellent in flower beds and landscaping. They also make really good cut flowers, or work really well in floral arrangements, fresh and dried. So add some of those to your cut flower garden. Dusty Miller, some of the red, white, and blue petunias, lots more beautiful petunias, and these petunias will get huge, so give them lots of space. They will all of these varieties of petunias will get really bushy and large and bloom all season. We've got cilantro, spinach, 2 different types of spinach, and then several varieties of lettuce. Look at this. Look at that one. Beautiful lettuce. So yummy. We've been eating a ton of lettuce from our garden and spinach. It is so good. It's actually growing faster than I can harvest it right now, which is an excellent problem to have. We've got green express cabbage, purple Savoy cabbage, several different varieties of cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, Swiss chard, kale, and then a sea of nasturtium. I love nasturtium. The leaves and flowers and seeds are all edible. They are also a favorite of pollinators. I have even used them in floral arrangements. They look amazing in the garden. So many reasons to grow nasturtium. And we've got an apricot color. We've got Alaska mix, which gets variegated leaves, so green and white leaves, and a variety of colored blooms. And then we've also got a vintage nasturtium as well. I always grow a few of these in my garden to attract beneficial insects. And again, they are edible and just an amazing plant. So grow some nasturtium in your garden this year. We've got Campfire Rudbeckia, Painted Daisies, Echinacea, Yellow Porcupine Calendula. It's like your traditional calendula, but instead of orange flowers, they are huge yellow blooms. Super cool. And then we've got marigolds, lots of marigolds. They attract beneficial insects. They bloom all season long, really prolific blooms. Some of the taller varieties make excellent cut flowers. There are just so many reasons to grow marigolds. If you don't like orange marigolds, I get it. So I recommend these strawberry blonde marigolds. I also have some white yellow, the sugar and spice. They're going to be a yellowish cream color. So try those. If you if you don't really like the look of traditional marigolds, try those too. But if you do love the look of traditional, kind of the yellow and orange marigolds, which are also beautiful, just some people prefer one over the other. I've got Crackerjack, Gold Marvel, Bambino, and Tangerine. These are the Bambino. And all of the colors and all of the varieties are going to attract a lot of pollinators and beneficial insects. So try out some varieties of marigolds. And again, if you are someone who doesn't really like the orange marigolds, I get it. I am on board with you. So try the strawberry blonde or the sugar and spice. All right, over here, we've got eucalyptus, which is looking amazing and will do really well in floral arrangements, fresh or dried. Lavender and rosemary, they both smell amazing. And I grow my rosemary in pots so that I can bring it indoors over winter and then grow it for years and years and years. I have overwintered lavender outside. I also grow some in pots and bring it inside because it is a tender perennial, and some of our winters it does not make it through. So to get the most life out of both of these varieties, you may want to consider bringing them indoors over winter. And bonus to bringing them in over winter is you get to smell them, and it's like an amazing aromatherapy all winter long. I've got Queenie Mix Zinnias and Cinderella Peach. Both of those are great cut flowers, and they are cut and come again. So the more that you cut them, the bushier the plant, the more blooms that you will get. Apricot asters, they're a large China type aster, so they get a really big frilly bloom. Pirouette petunias, flag mix petunias, golden zucchini, Minnesota midget melons, and we've got a couple of varieties of cucumbers. Straight 8, Market More, National Pickling Cucumber, and Muncher. All really good, really delicious cucumbers. I grow all of them, but it also depends on your preference when it comes to cucumbers. I will also have a China Jade cucumber coming sometime next week. It's just not quite big enough for me to bring out yet. We've got Provider bush beans and dark green zucchini. Lipstick peppers. Now, I'm going to go through the pepper plants and just say a few things about each one. If you want to know more about growing peppers or more details about these varieties, I have a separate pepper video on YouTube, so check that out. We've got lipstick peppers. It is a long red pimento type pepper, always the most prolific sweet pepper in my garden every year. It's an abundance of red peppers. Sheep nose pimento. It's like a tomato shaped red pepper. Mini bell peppers, only a few of those left. King of the North peppers, that's like your classic red bell pepper. You can harvest them green if you like that extra tang and crunch, or let them fully mature to red. They grow really well in our climate. If you have struggled to get bell peppers to grow in the past, give these a try. Fish peppers, they are a beautiful green and white plant and a green and white pepper, really hot. So if you like heat, those are the ones for you. Martin's carrot pepper is a smoky hot. And then early jalapeno, it's like your traditional jalapeno, but on an earlier producing plant. So that is what we've got for peppers. Now I want to show you just a few more things. We've got some shade plants. We've got begonias. Look at the foliage on these begonias. They will also get blooms. And then we've got some begonias that are already blooming. So check these out for your shade plants. Lobelia also likes a little bit of shade, but will do okay and a little bit more sun. In fact, I'll show you, I have one over here that's been in the sun. Oh, here's some coleus, some more lobelia. But I have this one in the coffee pot here. It's pretty much getting full sun and it's doing really well. It's got that spilling, trailing habit to it. I love growing some of that. Check out this lettuce. Oh my gosh. Huge, giant lettuce. So delicious. All right, now over here I've got more shade plants. I've got this gorgeous hanging basket of lobelia. So beautiful. More begonias. A variety of colors of begonias and coleus. Some more lobelia. This is the sky blue, and there's also some purples. So yes, we've got shade plants. So if you live in an area where there's more shade, check out some of these. And these impatiens, this is the rose color, and there's also a pink. This one, like, the blooms literally look like they grow in the dark at night. Glow in the dark at night. I love growing some of these every year because they're just so vibrant and they get huge. One plant will be like 2 foot by 2 foot or bigger by the end of the season. Actually not even that long, like by midsummer these plants will be huge. I always plant them way too close together. And then I'm like, wow, I really only needed 1 or 2 of those plants to cover the entire flower bed. So they get really big, really beautiful. So check out our shade plants. We've got a few more of those. I've been tucking them in where I can find shade. There's a few more here in the greenhouse. A couple more varieties of coleus and impatiens. So this is what we've got for plants right now. And they are all looking amazing. So I hope you will stop by and get plants for your garden. If you have any questions either about the plants or about shopping, let me know. We have several things going on tomorrow, May 30. As I mentioned, our plant sale is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we also have a children's workshop at 10. It's from 10 to 10:30. Great for kids, kind of like 15 and under. But we will have a really great time tasting veggies, looking at plants, out in the garden. So that's going to be really cool. Now we do have a workshop for adults that does require registration. So from 9 to 10 tomorrow, we have a no dig garden workshop. If you want to come to that, I would love to have you. Space is limited and you do have to pre-register. So go to our website today, theheirloomfarmer.com, and sign up for that workshop if you would like to come. We will be out in the garden and it's all right. That was kind of crazy. There was a loud noise and my phone died all at the same time. Totally unrelated. But anyway, to wrap up the video, so we got our workshop tomorrow, the children's workshop, which is free and does not require registration, and then the plant sale. So I hope that you will come out and I look forward to seeing you. Thank you and God bless.